I've been hearing about this for a while, and it's been called a couple different things by different groups, but a day of truth and freedom, day of prayer and fasting by some faith leaders, or simply ICE out Minnesota. But what we're seeing is a community-wide effort across businesses and others who are taking a stand, they say, against ICE's presence here in Minnesota and hoping to create an impact here. Rob Olson is following this for us. He is downtown Minneapolis, where kind of the heart of this is going to be taking place. Rob, what do we expect this afternoon?
Well, this is going to begin here at the Commons in front of U.S. Bank Stadium with a rally. Originally, this was planned to be a rally and a march that would then come back to the Commons here before the rally. But now it is going to be kind of a beginning here, and then a march through downtown Target Center where the rally will be.
Greetings, everyone. Come in. We've got breaking news today. Lots of great stuff. Let's get on with it. No more further ado. Welcome to the Zero Dark Tony Show. I am Tony D, your host. We're going to get some breaking news now. We have an FBI arrest. We have an ICE update and the ICE out protest and strike in Minnesota.
Indoors for obvious reasons. Very cold outside, but down here now, an hour before this is set to begin, we've already seen a pretty considerable turnout here of folks already gathering that are dressed for the weather, certainly in all the cold weather gear that they can find. Stand the temperatures out here for what is this ICE out rally in Minnesota. This was, as you mentioned, announced 10 days ago by faith leaders, joined by some union groups, some community groups here to demand an end to the Operation Metro Surge here in Minnesota. Along with this, kind of an encouragement to kind of have an economic shutdown as well. We've seen lists of hundreds of businesses in the Twin Cities area that say they will be closed today. Dozens more, if not more than that, that will be open, but say they'll be donating part or all of their proceeds today to various groups, whether it be immigration rights groups or legal groups or food banks.
Hit that like button. Let's get it going.
Throughout this. So this is what's happening now, an hour beforehand. So some pretty hardy folks out here that are making their voices heard despite these negative temperatures.
Yeah, and Rob, the Target Center piece of this was obviously added in, as you said, because of the cold weather. What do people need to know if they're headed down there? Tickets. It's our understanding. I thought it looked like there weren't any left, but if you have a ticket, if you're planning to go, what do they need to know?
Tickets. Yeah, it is a ticketed event. So and that is I saw some concerns raised online. Some groups online, wondering, okay, why is that? Are they collecting data? How will that be shared? And the explanation is, of course, it's there's a capacity, so they don't want more people showing up that can fit inside. Certainly not on a day like this. They need to know what to expect, just like any other event that would be held at Target Center. Concerns, that were raised too about, there's some folks that have expressed some, reservations or criticisms of Target Corporation, feeling that they should be making as a major corporate, presence here, that they should be making a stand on this. And the moderators and other folks pointing out that Target Center is not owned by Target. It's owned by the city. Target has the naming rights, just like U.S. Bank or Huntington Bank or now Grand Casino have naming rights of arenas. They don't own the building, so that there's no connection other than that there. So we'll see. Again, we expect what we're seeing here is a pretty significant crowd forming already an hour before this is set to take off in a march, and expect a pretty big crowd at Target Center as well.
And no signs allowed in, no large bags. It's again the same rules as be aware.
Yeah. For the same thing that applies to any event inside in terms of security, whether it's a game or concert, etc. So
okay, Rob.
Plenty of signs out here though already, and people setting up loudspeakers too.
Okay, we'll check back in with you. Oh, stay warm, stay so warm, and
stay so warm. We're going to cut right to the march and see what's going on over there.
And know that to stay safe today, listen to your marshals, the people in the high-vis vest, and stay behind the banners! Can everybody repeat after me?
Big shout out to BG.
Stay behind the banners! Because we know that who keeps us safe, we keep us safe! unanimous vote from the City Council in favor of a stronger separation ordinance. Let's give it up for my good friend Yuzu! Minnesota! Listo poquito! I use she, her pronouns. I'm a proud member of the Minnesota Immigrant Rights Action Committee! I want to first and foremost thank you so much for being here and standing in solidarity with us today in such frigid temperatures because it's such a testament to how strong we are as a community, physically and metaphorically. And you know, these last few weeks, even as someone who's one of the many leaders of this work right now, there's moments in these last few weeks that have broke me. And in those moments, I think a lot about my dad. My father is a Mexican and Vietnamese immigrant who passed away almost 9 years ago. And, you know, in these moments where I need guidance, and I need reassurance, I need encouragement, I light incense for him in the morning and pray for protection. And in these moments, I whisper to myself, I really wish you were here. But in the same breath I say, but I'm glad you're not. Because I would rather never see him again than have him live under these conditions right now.
Geez.
And I think that just speaks to how untenable the conditions are that we're experiencing.
Welcome,
And I
everybody.
think that
Welcome.
just speaks to the countless stories that we've seen, that we've witnessed, that we've experienced of people being brutalized and harmed and killed by ICE agents in Minnesota and everywhere across this country. Can we hear shame? Shame! But even in those moments where we're brutalized, where there's violence perpetuated against us, we've seen Minnesotans step up and
Welcome,
lead
everybody.
and take care
Welcome
of
to
each
the
other
show.
in countless ways I can't say all at once. And a few days ago, when I was talking to one of my friends and we were talking about what's happening and how it's impacting our families, she said something that really struck me. She said, they're doing this to us not because we're bad. It's because we're good. Yeah! They're doing this to us because they know we're good. Yeah! And that we've shown throughout history that we have shown up for each other and protected each other. And when I hear the word good, it will never feel the same, because every time I hear the word good, I think of Renee Good. And that sentiment and her name and her life and her death is a constant and powerful and simple reminder that we are good and that our intentions are good and that no matter the violence that's perpetuated against us, we still believe that goodness and justice can still prevail. And that's why we're showing up today. So the president and this administration want to make an example out of us. We're going to lead by example, and we're going to show everybody in Minnesota and across the country how to fight back against this authoritarian government, and we're going to show everyone what it looks like to fuck with Minnesota! So I say abolish, you say ICE! Abolish! 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 Thank you very much.
All right, some speakers going up now in front of a very large crowd gathering in Minneapolis. Oh, we're not
ICE
playing Queen.
ICE out! ICE out! Minnesota, y'all know who you are. You gotta show them who you are. Stand up. Shout out. ICE out! ICE out! Chinga la migra! Chinga la migra! Chinga la migra! Fuck ICE! Fuck ICE! Minnesota nice, but fuck ICE! Fuck ICE! Chinga la migra!
I haven't heard this one before.
Get up! Get down! Minneapolis is the Union Town! That's right!
We're going to get back to this protest in just a second. I want everybody to get caught up on what's happening with the ICE arrests. Mr. Bovino here, the head of ICE, is going to give us an update on some of the individuals that have been captured during their operations.
I'll begin today's briefing, go through a few things, and then turn it over to my colleague, Mr. Marcos Charles. And at that time, after Mr. Charles is done, we'll take any questions that you may have. So operations
welcome, everybody.
continue.
Welcome. Come in. Hit that like button for me.
Unabated here in Minneapolis.
Boop, boop. Double tap that device. Give me a double boop. Boop.
Several illegal alien criminals taken off the streets yet again over the past 24 hours. Again, that is what we're here to do, and we're not going to be deterred in doing that. We are going to take these criminal illegal aliens off the street and make America a safer place, make Minneapolis a safer place. Again, that is why we're here. Let me detail a couple of illegal aliens we took off the streets over the past 24 hours that were walking our streets over those past 24 hours. Here's one, Mr. Carlos Gomez Acosta, charged with cocaine trafficking and a controlled substance violation. This is an interesting one because this individual was what we would term as a golf, which is a getaway across the border. This individual crossed the border and was a getaway. More than likely, over those past 4 years, when we had millions crossing the border unabated. This is what we get in our communities. What happens at the border does not stay at the border.
Thank you, Claire.
And then we have Lin Lee, an illegal alien from Red China.
From Red China.
This individual is charged with child neglect and endangerment. Let me say that again, child neglect and endangerment and prostitution. An illegal alien walking the streets of Minneapolis. Now, we just talked children yesterday a little bit. Let's talk a little more since we've got an illegal alien we just took off the streets of Minneapolis that was someone engaged in child neglect and endangerment. Here in the U.S. Border Patrol, I will say unequivocally that we are experts in dealing with children. Let me say that again, experts in dealing with children. Not because we want to be, but because we have to be. Over those past 4 years, hundreds of thousands of children were trafficked across that border. Guess who they came into contact with? Sometimes who was the very first law enforcement agency or American citizen that they saw? U.S. Border Patrol, followed by our counterparts at Immigration and Customs Enforcement. We're definitely the experts at dealing with children, unfortunately. Hundreds of thousands under that last administration. Not to mention the 300,000 lost children, 300,000 plus lost children that were trafficked across that border. Now, when we've got the news media talking about children, I'd certainly love to hear more reporting on the 300,000 lost children. How about the 14 that we recovered at that pot farm a few months ago in Camarillo, California? The 14 lost children trafficked across the border that were found working illegally on a pot farm in California.
Unbelievable.
Very little reporting from the Minneapolis news media here. I didn't really hear much from you guys. And then some of the more heinous crimes against children that are trafficked across the border that ICE and Border Patrol saw daily back when that border was out of control over those past 4 years. I'll detail one for you, folks, that's truly heinous. Border Patrol agents there in the El Centro sector encountered a young child, was approximately 3 years of age. The child appeared to be drugged.
Jesus.
Not with his parents, with strangers. Agents managed to wake the child up after doing what is known as a sternum rub, which is a technique to wake someone up that may be induced by drugs.
Wow.
As the child woke up, we understood the child's parents were not with him, and medical examination saw that this child had non-surgical sutures in his abdomen. Let me say that again. Non-surgical sutures in the child's abdomen.
What?
He was being trafficked across the border in that condition.
Ugh.
That's not an isolated event with the U.S. Border Patrol or ICE. We saw that many, many times. Drug children coming across the border, and guess what? Other than a couple of news outlets, I believe News Nation and Fox reported, nobody else would. Nothing on a child with non-surgical sutures in his abdomen, and nobody knows why. Now, the 5-year-old yesterday, some of you had questions on the 5-year-old yesterday. That 5-year-old remains with his family. We say that again, remains with his family. We know that. That false media narrative that was pushed out yesterday was, well, it was false. It remains with his family. But let's talk about who doesn't remain with their family. And I think this is the most important thing that we're talking about with children. How about our victim of the day, a victim at the hands of illegal alien criminals, these same criminals that we are taking off the streets that you see on these screens behind us? This victim was Rachel Morin. She left behind 5 children. Let me say that again. She left behind 5 children after she was killed by an illegal alien from Central America.
Wow.
He decided to murder her and hide her body in a culvert. Oh, wait a second. That was after he raped her.
Goodness gracious.
She's separated permanently from her 5 children. Let me say that again. Separated permanently from her 5 children.
Wow.
Why isn't that reported on?
Exactly.
Very little reporting in the local news media or the news media on those types of situations. Now, I would call this the DSP syndrome. That's a term that I made up. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a Border Patrol agent. It's called the double standard phenomena. Say that again. The DSP is the double standard phenomena. We see this quite often, the DSP. American citizens that are arrested daily here in Minneapolis, are they separated from their children and families? Absolutely, as they should be. Criminals face consequences. Criminals face consequences. But yet that double standard does not seem to apply to illegal aliens. Why is that? Perhaps someone could detail that for me, because I don't quite understand all the parameters involved in the DSP, the double standard phenomena. So, as we continue this mission here in Minneapolis, we will continue to take these bad people, bad things off the streets, despite the DSP, the double standard phenomena, despite the false narrative reporting by many news media outlets. We will continue unabated in our mission to ensure there are no more Rachel Morins separated from her 5 children. And I'll close by saying organizations, victims rights organizations. What about the angel moms? That one's one that's never reported on. How many victims do you need before an organization like that pops up? It's not 1 or 2. I can guarantee you that. Look at MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, from back in the 80s and 90s. That organization popped up because a lot of children were getting killed by drunk drivers. Well, what about the angel moms now? How many victims of illegal aliens that should not be here in the United States are causing family separation for American citizens that's not reported on by most news media outlets? How many does it take? I'd like to ask, excuse me, PBS or CNN or any of the other outlets, how many? How many does it take? I'd love that question. There's another phenomenon there. I would love that question answered. But the fact of the matter is we do have angel moms, a lot of them, unfortunately. It's very heartbreaking to meet them, although they're not reported on very much. Heartbreaking. But we're here to ensure there are no more angel moms. We don't want more angel moms.
Oh, that's a new one.
That's why Marcos and I are here, U.S. Border Patrol, ICE, and those allied law enforcement teams. We're going to take, again, these criminal aliens off the streets that you see behind us and that I've shown you this morning. We're going to take them off the streets wholesale. It's on.
It's on.
We won't quit. Thank you for your time this morning.
There you go.
I'll introduce Mr. Marcos Charles. Marcos?
Good morning. Thanks, Commander Bovino. Thank you all for being here to get the real facts of what ICE federal partners are doing in the Twin Cities. For us, every day is about public safety,
And this is right from the guys that are doing it. These are the guys that are out in the street getting these criminals. These are criminals.
politics. It's a shame to see politicians and activists spreading fear in their own communities by creating a false narrative about what we do and who we are and who we arrest. The media and political activists have tried to deceive the American public about ICE and our operations. Yet again, they have failed. But the truth matters, and I'm here to tell you the truth about what we do. This week, ICRO conducted targeted enforcement operation to arrest Adrian Alexander Conejo Arias, an illegal alien who was released back into the interior of the United States by the previous administration. When officers approached Conejo Arias, he and his child were in a vehicle. Arias fled from law enforcement on foot, abandoning his child in the middle of winter in a vehicle. One of our officers stayed behind with that child while other officers apprehended his father. After conducting the arrest,
I don't care what side you're on. I want to hear from you.
my officers stayed with the child. They cared for him, took him to get something to eat from a drive-through restaurant, and spent hours ensuring he was taken care of. Again, my officers did that, not his father. My officers did everything they could to reunite him with his family. Tragically, when we approached the door of his residence, the people inside refused to take him in and open the door.
Well,
Let me
good
say
luck
it
with
again.
that, Matthew.
They
Good
saw
luck
the
with
young
that.
boy, and they refused to
I
open
don't
the
think
door
so.
and take him back. This is the human side of the job of that my officers do. They are family men and women. They have children of their own. They sacrifice everything for their families. I know for a fact that they were heartbroken to see the child's own family leave him behind. Fortunately, Conejo Arias eventually requested that his child stay with him. We do everything in our power not to separate families. So they took him back together.
No kids have been abducted. You understand? They left the kids there. And ICE made sure that they didn't freeze. That's the fact.
To Minneapolis, here to the city, to the ICE facility for processing.
I don't make the
And
fact.
now they are being well cared for at a family residential center, pending their immigration proceedings. This is the real face of ICE, ERO, Border Patrol, and our allied partners. The media doesn't know our officers. We do. My officers do the right thing no matter how difficult or how long it takes throughout the day.
Let's check the temperature. We got over 900 people in the room. Put a 1 in the chat if you support ICE. Put a 2 in the chat if you do not support ICE. Let's see who's in the house. I want to hear from everybody.
Let me debunk a couple more lies. Conejo Arias was not walking to school with his child, and we did not target the child. Arias fled from law enforcement officers and left his child behind. Again, middle of winter
Disgusting.
in a car. We will enforce the law as it's written, but we will go above and beyond to reunite families because that is who we are. I also want to clarify the recent arrests of the ringleaders of the city's church riots. Federal law protects the freedom of religion and the right to worship without interference. What these agitators did was not a peaceful protest. They rioted at church services. They screamed and harassed children. They denied Minnesotans the ability to worship peacefully. Again, this was not a peaceful protest. You don't go in front of up to a child and yell at them. That is not a peaceful protest. Been in law enforcement for 33 years now, and this is the first time I've ever seen a protest in a church where they're harassing individuals trying to peacefully worship.
Oh, well.
It's disturbing to know that these individuals would target sacred spaces
We know of a
and
couple
viciously
people who do
harass
that.
innocent families. Sacred spaces must be respected. While I cannot speak to ongoing investigations and prosecutions, I can say that ICE, DHS, and the Department of Justice are wholly committed to maintaining public safety and the rule of law. That is
The
why
like
we're
button.
here today. I am calling on everyone, politicians, the media, and activists, to put an end to the dangerous, irresponsible rhetoric once and for all. You are pitting communities against federal law enforcement, and you are pitting neighbor against neighbor in Minnesota. This is why I'm up here almost every day, to show you the good work my officers are doing. This is the same reason that Chief Bovino is up here every day. The public needs to know about the dangerous criminal illegal aliens we're arresting. They need to see the faces of the monsters that these agitators are trying to protect. Yesterday, we arrested the following individuals. Jose Ocampo Leon, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico, convicted of sexual conduct with a child under 16.
Jesus.
Also up on these.
So do you anti-ICE folks think that it's okay for a guy like that to be in this country? Is that okay with you? I just want to know. I want to get to I'm investigating.
Gerardo Sanchez Acuña, a criminal illegal alien convicted of drug trafficking. Salvador Salazar Rivera, a criminal illegal alien from Mexico convicted of violent domestic assault that inflicted bodily injury on his spouse. These are not the people that you want living next door to you. Rudy Pineda Aguilar, a criminal illegal alien from Guatemala convicted of criminal sexual conduct. Not the people you want living by your schools. And finally, Jeffrey Ramon Rabanales, a criminal illegal alien from Guatemala convicted of assault, domestic assault, and damage to property. These are the people that those protesters and agitators are trying to protect. Do we have the photo?
Thank you so much, Bangor Pete. Check it in.
Moments ago, a group of agitators, a U-Haul van filled with shields.
$5 super chat. Thank you so much. Welcome, Bangor
right.
Pete. Thank you so much for the
Shields
super chat.
and gear decided to come over here to the Whipple building and block traffic. They are currently trying to impede us from getting out of the building and going and do our mission. I'll tell you right now, they're going to fail, because no matter what they put up in front of us, we are here to do a job to protect this community, to protect Minnesotans, and to keep the criminal legal aliens off the street and put them where they belong, back into detention, and remove them from this country.
And as far as that church incident goes, let's just tap in right over here real quick on some of President Trump's comments about those who were inside that church. Mr. President.
All ICE wants to do is get them out of our country, bring them to prisons and jails and mental institutions from where they came. That's all they want to do. They're patriots, and they have to be abused by guys like Don Lemon, who's a loser, lightweight. I saw him the way he walked in that church. It was terrible. I have such respect for that pastor. He was so calm. He was so nice. He was just accosted. What they did in that church was horrible yesterday. Look at it here. 24 convictions. 24 times convicted. They're not charges. These are convictions. So he comes from outside the country. Do you think he's going to be good here? He's convicted 24 times. He's going to be good here, right? It doesn't work that way. It's a man murder. It's one of many. One of many. All they want to do is get him out. They want to take him out of our country. And we're met with paid agitators and insurrectionists, troublemakers. They're paid. You know, when the woman was shot, and I felt terribly about that. And I understand both sides of it. But when she was shot, there was another woman that was screaming shame, 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 right? You saw it. So loud. Like a professional opera singer. She was so loud and so professional. She wasn't a woman that was hurt, like, oh, my heart's injured. She was a professional. She's shame, shame. She's screaming, shame, shame. I said, that's not a normal person. That's a professional.
And, you know, a lot of talk about these being professional and paid protesters. Back to the press conference. Hey-oh.
Thank you, guys. Take questions now.
All right, we'll start from here. And we'll go down.
Taking questions from the press.
Appreciate you taking our questions. You talked about specifically 5 of the people or so that were up on the slides. For people that are just watching this and just see faces on the slides and no names and just the country they're from and the events, how do you build trust in the community with some that might be skeptical when they don't know who these people are and don't know everything about the people that you're taking into custody?
We're relying on you guys to put that message out. We put these slides up for you so you can get the message out to the public of the good work that our men and women are doing.
Can I just follow up real quick?
Sure.
The people that you've taken into custody, you talk about the worst of the worst that you call them. What about the other people? Are you taking people into custody that don't have criminal past? Like
Thank you so much,
people that are
FN from Bakis.
those people being detained now too?
$10 super chat. I am
I will tell you
exhausted Air
this.
Force, and if I were younger, I
We
would join
operate
ICE. Love you
through
guys. Honor. Thank you
intelligence
so
and
much for the
targeted
super
enforcement.
chat and letting
We are looking
your
for
voice
certain individuals.
be heard.
As we're
here.
looking for these individuals, if there
We
is
appreciate
somebody
you.
that
Thank
is
you.
illegally in the country and amenable to removal from this country, we will arrest them.
So some may not have a criminal past, a violent criminal past. Like
Correct.
You're putting
Correct.
those people into custody too.
Yeah, because every day that they're here, they are committing a crime. They may have been here 20 years, but
Thank
that
you
means
for
for
your
the last
service.
20
We
years, they have
appreciate that.
failed to do it the right way. And every day that they're here, they are here illegally in the United States. Now, we are not targeting those individuals, but if we come across those individuals in the course of our duties, we will arrest them.
All right, next question.
Yesterday, Minnesota's corrections commissioner shared videos of inmates being transferred, handed over to federal agents, and he says he can't find a single case where the DOC failed to honor the ICE detainers when someone finishes their in-custody state prison term. And he also says that you are overcounting the number of non-citizens that are in state custody by 1,000. I'm wondering if you can address those discrepancies between what you guys have said in these press conferences and what the state Commissioner of Corrections said yesterday.
Yeah, I clarified that yesterday by saying that the Department of Corrections for the state of Minnesota does cooperate. They hand people over at the end of their sentence, and we take them into custody. The numbers that we put out aren't, when I
Hit
say
that
the
like
state of
button and subscribe to the channel, guys.
Minnesota, I'm
Thank
not
you.
talking about just the Department of Corrections. I'm talking throughout the state, counties, any municipalities that may be holding people.
So he did say that there are about 207 in prison and 94 in county jails to make 301 total. I believe the numbers you guys were giving were more like 1,300. So what's the discrepancy?
The discrepancy is that he's Department of Corrections and we're Immigration Customs Enforcement with better databases than he has as far as who are out in custody.
In the state custody, though, in county custody?
And throughout the United States. So the numbers I
Federal
gave you were
custody.
for Minnesota, correct. But our stats, our detainers are the ones that we count. We don't go into DOC data and count their data. It's not our data. Our data shows that we have over 1,300
In Minnesota.
in Minnesota.
Next question.
Just a few questions on the 5-year-old, and I'll rattle them off quickly, and I'll repeat them if need be.
Questions
Does the
about
father
that
have a criminal
5-year-old?
record? What charges was he arrested on? What's the son's legal status and immigration history? And what can you tell us about any ICE interactions with the mother, as well as her legal status and immigration history?
That was pretty fast. Can you?
Yeah. Let's start with the first one. Does the father actually have a criminal record? And if so, what charges was he arrested on?
I will have to get back to you with any of this in-depth criminal history, but he was in the United States illegally, and I believe he'd been ordered removed.
I'm from the AP. Your press people do have my contact
Yep.
information. What's the son's legal status and immigration history?
The family came across as a family unit illegally
Oops.
a few years back. I can't get the date off the top of my head.
Can you tell us anything about ICE's interactions with the mother, as well as her legal status and immigration history?
We have not encountered the mother as of this time.
My question's for the commander, just given portions of your remarks, sir, and we appreciate you taking questions very much.
Of course.
Maggie Vespa from NBC News. We have reported multiple times, in depth, quoting DHS's statements, saying that Liam Ramos is being held with his father in Texas. With that context in mind, we still have people saying that they're outraged at the idea of little kids being held in custody at all. So what do you say to those people, and what kinds of conditions are young children being held in?
As far as that family has not been separated, so it goes back.
We reported that.
Yes.
So even with that in mind, he's in custody, being detained in Texas with his dad.
Yes, with his dad. So that goes back to exactly what I just said. Is many American citizens are separated when they're arrested, say by Minneapolis Police Department or any other police department. They are separated from their children when they're arrested. So take a look at what's happening here with this particular case. They're not being separated. That child is in the least restrictive setting possible. When I say that we're experts, both Border Patrol and ICE, in dealing with immigration cases that involve children, probably the most experienced anywhere in the United States by any domestic law enforcement agency. I know that in my particular Border Patrol sector, that saw thousands of individuals coming across the border during that last administration, including hundreds of children. I remember our agents in the back parking lot playing soccer matches with those children in the back parking lot. I challenge any other law enforcement agency anywhere nationwide to show me the fantastic care that ICE and U.S. Border Patrol provide children. Don't come across the border illegally, especially don't commit crimes, or there will be consequences. And American citizens face it. So, the law is fair and firm.
If I may follow up, you said he's with his family. Another way of looking at that might be that we don't imprison or detain American children, penalizing them for the actions of their parents. So what do you say to those who are troubled by the contrast? They see a child in custody. American kids don't endure that.
Well, I don't think there's a contrast, and the child could be without his parents somewhere, perhaps in social services care somewhere, and that's what we see oftentimes by children that are trafficked across the border. It's heartbreaking. They're not with any family. They're with social services or Office of Refugee and Resettlement. So the child is in the least restrictive setting.
Hit the like
with a family
button, guys.
member. I don't think it gets any better than that.
Hit the like
and
button.
As far as the care, the best care that I've seen is ICE, U.S. Border Patrol, and the way we treat those illegal aliens that come across the border.
Can you give any details as to what that facility is like? What's the kid's life like?
I'll let Marcos talk about it. It's an ICE facility and not a Border Patrol facility, sir.
So our family residential centers, I had the privilege of working in one back in 2015. So I can tell you firsthand, they get top-notch care. They have medical care. The food is good. They have learning services. They have church services available. They have recreation. They have special caregivers to see to the needs of the children.
So according to them, they have all the needs possible right there at those centers. Let's go back to the protests today in Minneapolis.
With liberation! Stand down with deportation! We see y'all in the sky! Let's go! All right, let's take our next speaker, Jaylani Hussein. Jaylani is the leader of the Council on American Islamic Relations of Minnesota. Cares against Islamophobia, protects civil rights, and promotes justice and equality for all. Please welcome Jaylani!
All right, everybody, thank you for coming out today. Give yourselves a hand up for being here today. You did the most important thing. You show up today! I want to first of all greeting you with a greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessings be upon you all today. Minnesota, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, for showing up today. This is a moment in history. We are the new generations fighting in this era of a civil rights movement in this moment. We are gathered here today because we care about each other. We are gathered here today despite these frigid temperatures because Minnesotans care deeply about their neighbors. What we are seeing and witnessing is a siege against our neighbors. We are witnessing the federal government and ICE enforcement attack our communities and attack us in ways we have never seen before. But as others have said, they have chosen the best state because we are embodying the best of this nation, Minnesota. We are embodying the best of this nation. We are marching on this cold day to let the rest of the nation know that Minnesota will stand up for the Constitution of this nation. Minnesotans are waking up today affirming not only the Constitution, but that there is no one above the law, that every person must face justice. And in this moment,
over 500 people in the house. Let's hit that like button, guys.
There are many of you who are watching us from other parts of the world. And I tell you in this moment, Minnesota has one of the warmest people with the warmest hearts. It could be frigid outside, but we take care of each other. We snow in the middle of a snowstorm. We help each other out. We take care of each other. And for the past 3 to 4 weeks, as ICE has rained on our community, we have stood up for our neighbors. And in this moment, there are so many of our neighbors who could not come outside. I speak to them to tell you, your neighbors have your back. Minnesotans have your back. And we will not let the kidnappers take you over our dead bodies.
Okay.
To all the people across this country, what ICE is doing is unconscionable. But we know we have a history in this nation, a history that once again reminds us of what ICE is doing. They are no different than the slave catchers of an early era. They are not doing anything different than checking the papers of slaves, not checking around to look for people who are black and brown. They are doing nothing but repeating history. It is us in this moment that also must repeat history. Because in moments of darkness, in moments like this, every nation has people like us who stand up, who turn on the light, who stand up for each other and say to ICE and other people that we, the people, united, will never be defeated. 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 And what people do not know in this moment is that Minnesotans, we are seeing each other. We're seeing our neighbors.
We got to look at both sides here. We got to look at both sides to have a decent and well-rounded opinion.
Bonding together in the midst of all of this. We are becoming more resilient. We're becoming more together. And we are becoming stronger to fight against this administration. So we say to the rest of the nation, be like a Minnesotan! Be like a Minnesotan who stands up for their neighbors with a whistle, with a phone, and taking care of each other. In this moment, we are asked to do what is right, not what is comfortable. We are asked to tell the truth, even if the truth means that we say to our neighbor who is the ICE officer, get out of my city. We say the truth, even if it means the pastor of our church can no longer preach because he's kidnapping our neighbors. We say in custody and detained by ICE agents. We say the truth when a police officer on her way to work is boxed in by ICE agents, checking our papers only because she's a person of color. We say the truth. We say the truth when many people want to say the lies. We say the truth not because it is anything else, but it reminds us that we are going to hold the moral compass, that we are going to stand up for justice. We are reminded, as we just celebrated another year and another day to reflect on the history of the great leaders of the civil rights movement, and especially Dr. King. There are so many people that say they care deeply about Dr. King, but will not care about Nikita Levion, and will not care about the civil rights leaders of his time. It is upon this time that we ask all of you to stand up for justice in this moment. And to the many people and the faith leaders who have gathered here in Minnesota.
We're going to get back to this in just a minute. We do have some more breaking news. Ryan Wedding, former Olympian and alleged drug kingpin, has been captured. And guess what? He is right here in Los Angeles. Let's have a listen, guys.
Big story here, fascinating story. The FBI has captured a suspect on its top 10 most wanted list. He was just brought back to the United States from Mexico. Gigi Graciet is at Ontario International Airport with the details.
That's right. It's official. Ryan Wedding is now in the custody of the LAPD. He arrived there on that government plane at 7:53 here at the Ontario airport, directly from Mexico City, where he was arrested. Ryan Wedding, whose aliases include El Jefe, the boss,
look at that.
Giant, and
look at that. The perp walk off the plane. Hey, welcome to LA, Mr. Wedding.
Public enemy, was arrested last night just outside Mexico City. The former Olympian turned accused drug kingpin and murderer had been on the FBI's most wanted list with a $15 million reward offered for his capture. Wedding accused of running a major transnational drug trafficking network that the FBI says shipped tons of cocaine from Colombia through Mexico into Los Angeles and then onto Canada.
Wow, look at the perp walk we got here.
He's also accused of ordering hits on rivals, with multiple murders now attributed to him, including the shooting deaths of 2 members of a family in Ontario, Canada, back in 2023, reportedly in retaliation for a stolen drug shipment from Southern California.
This has been a coordinated, intelligence-driven investigation into Wedding's global drug trafficking organization, which used Los Angeles as its primary point of distribution. Our collective efforts led to the seizure of more than 2,300 kilograms of cocaine, 44 kilograms of methamphetamine, 44 kilograms of fentanyl, 8 firearms, and over $55 million in illicit assets.
And while they're not releasing details of how Wedding was captured, sources tell us the FBI, working closely with Mexican authorities and the DEA, have been hot on Wedding's trail for over a month. In December, officials got one important step closer to him when they seized his motorcycle collection in Mexico. The 62 motorcycles said to be Wedding's prized
he had some nice bikes.
Possessions, valued at $40 million. In addition to the motorcycles, authorities also confiscated drugs, including cocaine, meth, and fentanyl, artwork, Wedding's custom Mercedes-Benz valued at $14 million, and 2 Olympic medals. Again, no details of how Ryan Wedding was actually taken into custody in Mexico, and the FBI won't say if anyone will be claiming that $15 million reward. He will be booked in Los Angeles and is expected in federal court in downtown Los Angeles on Monday. In Ontario,
so let's jump to that press conference earlier with Kash Patel. They did a great job here at the FBI. Let's go. Well, let's turn off that mute ski.
You got everybody?
That's the first time I've seen O'Donnell smile.
All All right, good morning, everybody. I think it's still morning, right? My name is Kash Patel. I'm the director of the FBI. Today, we are here because of President Trump's incredible leadership and commitment to supporting law enforcement across the country and around the world. We are here today to announce another record historic achievement because of law enforcement partnerships across America and across the globe come together to fight crime in all corners of the earth. Today, we are announcing a capture of another FBI's most wanted top 10 fugitive, Ryan Wedding. That makes 6 top 10 FBI captures in 1 year alone. To put that in perspective, that's 2 more than the entirety of the prior administration. And none of this would be possible without the tremendous leadership of Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice and our partners and prosecutors at the United States Attorney's Office here in LA and our Los Angeles field office. Here you'll see many of our brave partners, including the Commissioner of the RCMP, the Chief of Police of the LAPD, our LA field office, ADIC, along with our partners from DEA and CBP and more. This is what a united front looks like. And just to tell you how bad of a guy Ryan Wedding is, he went from an Olympic snowboarder to the largest narco trafficker in modern times. He is a modern-day El Chapo. He is a modern-day Pablo Escobar. And he thought he could evade justice. But these brave men and women put together a prosecution package, put together an investigative package, put together an operations strategy, and here we are today bringing him to justice for trafficking hundreds of kilos of cocaine and also for the murder of innocent civilians. This individual and his organization in the Sinaloa cartel poured narcotics into the streets of North America and killed too many of our youth and corrupted too many of our citizens. And that ends today. I also want to have a tremendous shout out to the government of Mexico. President Sheinbaum, Secretary Harfuch, and the military and law enforcement officers of Mexico worked hand in glove with our teams on the ground there to apprehend last night in Mexico City, Ryan Wedding. I was privileged to be there on a previously planned trip, and this was a great operation that came together through interagency success because no one behind me and to the side of me cares about credit. They care about putting away the bad guys and safeguarding our communities. That is the leadership that President Trump has brought to the presidency. That is the support that he has brought to law enforcement from coast to coast, and I just can't say how thankful I am to be a small part of this and lead the FBI. These men and women do the hard work. But when you go after a guy like Ryan Wedding, it takes a united front. And that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing global partnerships from coast to coast. I want to give a special shout out to our ambassador in Mexico. Ambassador Ron Johnson quarterbacked this effort for us from Mexico for a year plus. As soon as he got to post at our new embassy compound there, he made this a priority and he came through. This is what leadership looks like. And this is a historic 2025 year the FBI is having. To put it in perspective, the FBI has had 67,000 arrests this year alone. That is a 200% increase. The FBI has captured 6 of the top 10 most fugitives on our board. The FBI has also seized enough fentanyl to kill 150 million Americans. A 31%
Can you imagine that? Seizing enough fentanyl that could schmurder 150 million Americans. My God.
Increase. The FBI has arrested 35% more espionage corrupt actors from China, Russia, the DPRK, and Iran.
China.
The FBI has found and identified 6,000 children that were missing. That is up 22%. All of these historic record-breaking numbers lead to another historic record-breaking number brought to you by President Trump's leadership. That is a 20% decline in the murder rate in the United States of America. That is an all-time record for the modern era. Our communities are safeguarded by these men and women. We are thankful to be partnered with the Department of Justice and the relentless efforts to safeguard our communities by Attorney General Pam Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. But we're not done today.
A press conference with FBI Director Kash Patel regarding the arrest of alleged drug kingpin Ryan Wedding, who had quite a perp walk.
We're going to get back on the plane, and we've captured and apprehended another top 10 fugitive while we were in Mexico. And we're going to head east and hand him over to local law enforcement authorities. I also want to give a huge shout out to state and local law enforcement. This work is not possible at all without them on the front lines every single day. They're the greatest partners we could ever have, and thank God we have a president who backs the blue. And that is what results look like. Personally, for me at the FBI, I want to thank our hostage rescue team. I want to thank our special forces, our special flight operations unit.
Oops.
I want to thank our headquarters component, our LA field office. This was a enterprise-wide success. The moving pieces to pull this off and apprehend one of the world's most wanted criminals and bring him to justice in the United States of America can only be done when you have leadership from the top with President Trump, the Attorney General, and all these great leaders here. I'm going to turn it over to the Assistant Director in charge of the Los Angeles Field Office, Akil Davis, for some more comments on the case itself and the investigation.
Thanks, boss.
He said, thanks, boss.
Good morning.
Good
My
morning.
name is Akil Davis. I'm the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's Los Angeles Field Office.
Oh, he's ready for business.
We told you in November we would find Mr. Wedding, and today that day has arrived. The long arm of the law extends beyond our borders. This marks the 500th capture of an FBI top 10 fugitive since its inception 75 years ago. I want to congratulate the devoted team effort that led to this capture. Today is a great day for the FBI and for our partners here today, specifically our partners at the RCMP, the LAPD, and the DEA, and so many other agencies at every level. But it's also a good day for the victims of this case. Ryan Wedding tormented several people and several families that will never be the same. But today, they get the justice that they sought. Investigators worked tirelessly for well over a year to find Mr. Wedding, where he will face federal prosecution. As you know, Mr. Wedding and others are charged for their roles in a transnational organized crime network, shipping massive amounts of cocaine, approximately 60 metric tons, through Southern California on its way to Canada.
That's a lot of booger sugar.
Mr. Wedding is also wanted for orchestrating multiple murders of victims and government witnesses. In addition to the massive manhunt that went into apprehending Mr. Wedding, we worked with State Department to offer rewards, and the Treasury's Office of Foreign Asset Control, which imposed crushing sanctions in this case. This case is also being worked under the auspices of the Homeland Security Task Force here in Los Angeles. I'd like to provide a few details to illustrate the sheer work that has gone into this case. We've arrested 36 people for their role in this organization.
Wow.
Again, we've worked with our Canadian partners, our Mexican partners, our partners in Colombia and the Dominican Republic. The Treasury Department has sanctioned 19 people, including Ryan Wedding himself. We've seen mountain of drugs, cash, weapons. We seized the Mercedes-Benz, estimated over $15 million. We seized dozens of motorcycles worth approximately $40 million, and other valuable artwork and jewelry. Ryan Wedding will be held in custody over the weekend and is anticipated to have his initial appearance on Monday morning. While we're happy about this victory,
technically he's innocent until proven guilty, but
we have a lot of work ahead of us to prosecute this case and continue our investigation. I want to emphasize we are still seeking multiple individuals wanted for their roles in this organization.
Wow.
The State Department is still offering a $2 million reward for information leading to additional arrests. I ask anyone with information to contact us at 424-494-0614. That number can be called internationally, domestically via WhatsApp, Signal, or Telegram. I also would like to thank, lastly, the Ontario International Airport for making this possible, securing the security of the scene and allowing us to plan this in such a way. Thank you, and I'd now like to turn it over to Chief McDonald of the Los Angeles Police Department.
Chief of the LAPD. Okay. Chief O'Donnell.
Thank you, Akil, and thank you all for being here today. The Los Angeles Police Department is proud to stand with our federal, international, and local partners as we announce the arrest of Ryan James Wedding. This has been a coordinated, intelligence-driven investigation into Wedding's global drug trafficking organization, which used Los Angeles as its primary point of distribution. Our collective efforts led to the seizure of more than 2,300 kilograms of cocaine, 44 kilograms of methamphetamine, 44 kilograms of fentanyl, 8 firearms, and over $55 million in illicit assets.
Ryanair.
This outcome reflects the tireless and seamless collaboration of the FBI, the LAPD, the DEA, and we're joined by Brian Clark here, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Together, we have disrupted a major narcotics pipeline impacting Los Angeles, the United States, and Canada. This is a significant blow to a criminal network that has endangered communities across borders. I want to personally thank the dedicated men and women from every agency represented here. From my own agency, the work of Gang and Narcotics Division particularly, their relentless commitment over the past 2 years has made this operation possible. Because of their work, Los Angeles is safer, and those responsible are being held accountable. We appreciate our media partners for showing up today on such short notice. Thank you for that. It's now my pleasure to be able to introduce to you the Commissioner of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Mike Duham.
Oh, we got the Mounties today.
Thanks, Mike.
And if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button.
Good morning, everyone.
Everybody hit the like button right now. Do it.
I would like to start off by thanking Director Patel for inviting me here on this special occasion. It goes without saying that no single agency or nation can combat transnational organized crime alone. The arrest of Ryan Wedding is the result of strong, trusted partnership. I want to thank the men and women from the FBI, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the U.S. Department of Justice, Los Angeles Police Force, and all the U.S. and Canadian law enforcement that took part in this. They spent countless of hours and many sacrifices to lead us to where we're at here today. And without the results, we can finally say that our communities, our countries are much safer with the arrest of Ryan Wedding. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Thank you.
We'll take a few questions. Without getting into operational sensitivities, Ryan Wedding was apprehended last night in Mexico City. And to safeguard the integrity of the ongoing investigation, we will not go into that. But I think it goes without saying, to go down to Mexico, to find a guy who's been on the lam for multiple years for some of the most egregious crimes on planet Earth, takes an interagency-wide effort led out by President Trump, our DOJ, and our partners in Mexico, and very grateful for that partnership. Did you hear her? Sorry, go ahead.
Who was the second person? I understand there was a second person.
Unrelated to Mr. Wedding's apprehension, an individual by the name of Mr. Castillo, another top 10 fugitive on the FBI's most wanted list, was apprehended also in Mexico last week.
So they got a twofer.
We are going to be transporting him east right after we depart here today. As the gentleman stated, Mr. Wedding is in custody already. He was transported off the plane. Sorry. The indictment stems from the Los Angeles U.S. Attorney's Office, so the investigators, the police, will handle that appropriately in that jurisdiction. This arrest was a success of interagency law enforcement putting itself to the max every single day relentlessly. We will not comment on anyone regarding the rewards. We'll take one more question. Sorry, I can't hear you. Well, we came to Ontario because the weather's pretty nice here, but we also have to maximize operational security. We make these decisions jointly with our partners who run these airports. We make these decisions jointly with the local police force and our interagency officers. There are trigger points and earmarks that we have to meet to safely transport an individual of the level and caliber of Ryan Wedding.
And they have to take several different security measures in order to make sure that they are safely transported. Let's just jump back in here and hear another speaker at the protest today. This is live in Minneapolis.
But I'm also a poet in Minneapolis. And I want to tell you something about poets in Minneapolis. They took one of ours. And in Minneapolis, the poets do not remain quiet against fascist regimes. They have
wants to go down an interesting rabbit hole, that say her name, that is a spell. All right. That is a spell. And everybody can go look that up. But that say her name is a spell. So there's that.
I'm here to tell you that we will win because we've done it before. Say it with me. We will win. Win. One more time. We will win.
What?
Will win. Minnesota. This fascism that we are recognizing here in the United States is an authoritarian regime. It's an authoritarian regime that impacts us all. We are all interconnected. From Minneapolis to Palestine to Sudan to Greenland to Venezuela, we are all one human family. We stand up against authoritarian regimes. We stand up against fascists. We defeat tyrants.
Let's check another speaker.
Minnesota, make some noise!
There you go. That's how you do it.
I am so impressed by Minnesota.
That's the first speaker who's gotten up and knows how to do it. Let me hear you make some noise.
We have shut down our workplaces. We have shut down our schools. We have shut down everywhere that we could possibly spend money today. And we are out here in the streets in the bitter cold. There are so many of us out here that the back of the march
They're out
is
there in the
just
bitter cold, and they had all the coffee shops shut down, so they can't get something warm to drink.
now leaving the
job.
park. Let's go! This is the type of thing we need to be doing in the fight against Trump and white supremacy.
And here we go, the shots of the
on
crowd.
our neighbors and the tax on us. We need to continue being out here in the streets at every moment we can. We need to take care of each other because this is a marathon. This is marathon after marathon to fight for our rights, to fight for legalization for all, to fight for an end to all deportation, and for ICE to go away. We're turning the corner in the target sector. A couple things I want to note is that once we get there, you need to have reserved a ticket online ahead of time in order to enter. And if you are entering, you cannot bring in any signs on sticks with you or large bags. So please keep that in mind as we are getting into our indoor portion here. But we're gonna keep this energy going, right?
All right, let's cut this.
Nation hears your voices. Riley, where you at? Here you go. Minnesota knows how to deal with ICE. All right, y'all can sing this. Minnesota knows how to deal with
Thank you
ICE.
so much, Rush Monkey, for the 5 gifted memberships. Welcome new members who are receiving those memberships. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, in advance for hitting the like button.
Minnesota knows how to deal with ICE. Hey, come on. Minnesota knows. Come on. Louder.
Minus 8 degrees in this place. And this is the Target Center where they will be having their indoor protests. Buy a ticket. You gotta buy a ticket. No ticky, no laundry.
Minnesota knows how to deal with ICE. Let them know. Minnesota knows how to deal with ICE. Minnesota knows how to deal with ICE.
Everybody filing in. 86 coming in hot. 20 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, 86. Thank you for joining us. And welcome new members.
They gonna play this on the news, y'all better be loud. Come on now, loud.
Now, I am looking at a peaceful protest. That's what I see. Put a 1 in the chat if you see a peaceful protest. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. Thank you so much again, 86 GOP, for the 20 gifted memberships. Shout out to 86.
Minnesota knows how to deal with ICE. ICE out! ICE out! ICE out!
And this, no doubt, so far so good, right? So far so good. Thanks, Pete. Glad to have you.
Only if you have a ticket. Don't think you got one. Don't be playing.
So as you can see, the protesters will be protesting there all day today, no doubt. And we have covered so much here in a short amount of time. You give me an hour, I'm going to give you the world. I want to thank everybody for coming out here today and joining me on the program. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships, for the super chats. Thank you so much, mods, for joining me here today and helping out with the crowd. This video has over 112,000 views on it so far, and I have you to thank for it. So hit the like button, leave a comment in the comment section. Let's talk about it there. I thank you all for coming out. Truth is a moving target, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Whoa.